Hello everybody, and welcome back to Banjo-Kazooie. Starting off with World 3, which is probably the worst one out of the bunch, but even then, it's still not that bad of a level. How you doing today, Goke?
I'm having problems trying to open my bag of wafers.
Yeah, I don't know why
I'm
they
gonna
always
have
make
to.
it so hard to fucking get into bags of chips, but there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut them. It seems that is annoying.
Are you stuck in that perpetual problem where you just bought a new pair of scissors, but they're in those clamshell casings, so you have to buy a pair of scissors to open them up, but they're in a clamshell casing, so you have to buy another pair of scissors to open up those scissors?
No, I have knives in my house,
Oh, okay.
and despite being literally inbred, I am not that retarded.
No, it's just one of those jokes where just clamshell casings are just the fucking worst.
I just remember that scene from like King of the Hill. He's trying to open like a bottle of product,
Oh yeah, it
and
was
he can't do it.
WD-40, so he grabs a little like emergency container of WD-40 to spray on the WD-40 to spray on the fucking door. God, King of the Hill is fantastic. It's a shame that Dale died.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious now if Dale actually, the guy who voiced Dale anyway, did anything else, or he was just Dale. You don't happen to know, do you?
No. No, I know that the voice actor died,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know if he did anything. Because really, I don't often pay attention to voice actor work. Well, I don't consume much. I don't know. No, I was going to say something really dumb, so forget about it.
Okay. I know that there are people who unironically say like, "Oh yeah, I'm a consumer of things," and it's like, no, you're a fucking person. Like Jesus Christ, a consumer is what fucking the big corpos use to describe how big their numbers are.
Well, yeah, I don't know if like. It is very weird to see people refer. I don't know if I ever heard people refer themselves as consumers, but what I hear most is people referring themselves as fans of a specific kind of content, like if they are, for example,
I'm Gloop. Be sure to grab my air bubbles, because this area is literally the worst part of the level, and you have to do it first.
oh yeah, God, I so much trying to solve this one.
But solve the puzzle, all you have to do is just swim through the keyhole like 3 times.
Yeah, that's the point. It like the trying to do this without dying was really annoying because I was fighting the camera constantly.
Oh, you had problems because of like controls and stuff, not because you had problems figuring out what to do. Okay, got it. I was going to be questioning our friendship if that was the case.
But yeah, like it's like most of the time people I like a specific kind of like. I like games. They call themselves a gamer. If they like
Well,
anime,
yeah,
they say
like I would consider myself a gamer because I like video games, like how people would call themselves moviegoers. Like I can understand if that's like a big part of like your hobby or whatever, but there are people like specifically I know Crispy's Tavern calls himself a consumer. And we'll refer to people as consumers, and it's like, Jesus fuck, dude. Like, have a little bit of respect for yourself.
It is a very way to describe yourself, a very weird way to describe yourself, but yeah, because like that. What I find the most interesting when it gets to very specific stuff, like instead of like, being fans of TV series in general, they're a fan of one TV series, like you're a fan of Star Trek, and then they adopted
Oh yeah,
the term
Trekkies.
Trekkie. Yeah,
But no, that's considered offensive. You have to be known as a Trekker now.
I don't care.
And then if you refer to the wrong people as Trekkers, then that's offensive because they'd rather be known as Trekkies. So now there's a war in a sub-war within the fandom about whether it's Trekkie or Trekker.
Sounds like the kind of war where everyone deserves to die. But yeah, like I guess that is the kind of the privilege of Star Trek being this monolith in culture, because it's such a long-standing series with a solidified lore that it has created this kind of discourse around it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm a fan of Star Wars because I am cultured, so therefore I am superior to everybody.
There can be only one.
No, but jokes aside, I was never a big fan of Star Trek. I never really got into it. I just found it to be boring. I don't know. Were you more of a Star Trekker or a Star Wars fan?
None really.
I mean, to be fair, with the recent Star Wars stuff, I can understand not being a fan of it, but...
Oh, sorry. The main thing is that for most part of my life, I never had a strong connection to any piece of media. Like, there was nothing that I was particularly enamored of to say, like, yeah, this is like the piece of fiction that I identify with the most.
Yeah.
In my life.
Yeah. Like, you never went with something that was like, yep, this is my religion now.
Yeah, basically. For example, snap it to mutant with
and they're just like all the other crabs. If you just do the beak dive at them, they just die instantly, so...
Yeah. But,
music here is nice, though.
Yeah. But, like, for most of it... May also be the fact that for most of my childhood, I also didn't have a computer.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I only had a computer when I was in my, like, late teens. And I was already in university. So, I wasn't much in contact with online discourse of any kind. And so I couldn't form much of a connection to a specific thing very much. Just for an idea, when I was a teenager, I was reading crap like Faust and Germinal. You know, like literature of people who are long dead. Faust was pretty good, though.
Yeah, I think that probably the most mature piece of like media that I read for my age was Of Mice and Men, and I read that for a grade 6 book report. And it was one of those, oh yeah, just pick a book off the shelf and do a book report on it. And me being me and not really liking school that much, I chose Of Mice and Men because that book was only 100 pages long, and that was a mistake.
That was a good book, though.
Yeah, it's a very good book, but I felt very bad for Lenny.
Yeah.
And then just to rub salt in the wound, they were like, oh yeah, you read Of Mice and Men. How about we do a movie day at school where we watch the movie? And I felt really, really fucking bad for Lenny.
Boy. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like when you were in, I don't know what was my mode of thinking, but I always, like when I was a teenager, I used to go a lot to the library, and I just was gravitating a lot literature of people. Like stuff. I think I read False when I was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of it's not the kind of book you expect teenagers to read. Very good translation though.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually something that's always made me curious, because learning Japanese, it's one of those things where I've been noticing that even though the textbook Japanese that I've been learning is not technically what they speak in Japan, more or less.
Yeah, it's the same for every language, really.
Yeah, but it's interesting to note that it's sort of like, what was it? There was a... Oh, shoot, what's the, that sort of joke parody, anime where it's the two schoolgirls, but they're like foul-mouthed, cunts?
Panty and Stocking?
No, the other one. It's a more recent one. They have like the constant constant kitty cat mouth. And
Pop Team Epic?
it's the one where they're voiced by men.
Pop Team Epic.
Okay, yeah. Pop Team Epic, that's it. Yeah, there was a joke in there where they're writing haikus, and apparently it translates pretty well in both English and Japanese. But basically, the one wrote a haiku that was, fuck you, asshole, hey, fuck you, asshole, fuck you, asshole. And the other one wrote a haiku that was like, wow, that was very inappropriate and very poorly thought out. But someone in the comments of that video said, oh man, it was really impressive that they managed to translate it very, get the same thing both in English and Japanese. And from learning Japanese, I've realized that there's actually far less ways to really express yourself than there is in English, I find. So I was just thinking about it. It's like, no, if you do it in Japanese first and then translate it into English, it'd probably be a lot easier than the other way around.
Yeah, Japanese is kind of a language with a very rigid structure.
Yeah, which I guess in one sense it does make it a bit easier to learn as opposed to English.
Yeah, but I imagine like if you gotta translate certain words into the language, you're gonna be losing a lot, because there are certain languages, like for example, well, you probably remember me speaking about this in one of the failed recordings we did. But the case of case declensions, which is when the nouns vary in termination based on the grammatical function within the sentence. And for example, Russian is a language with case declensions. So if you have they have a certain freedom of how to organize a sentence in Russian, because you can count on the case declensions to specify what is the function of the word in the sentence. So in Russian, if you're making a poem in Russian, the word order is going to be much more flexible than in Japanese or in English. And I imagine that if you're translating, for example, a work in Russian or in a language that has that kind of particularity, you're gonna lose something.
Well, the obvious answer is to just assume that the original author is a piece of shit hack and just rewrite his story how you want to see it done. I mean, apparently it works for Crunchyroll.
Yeah, basically. It's the localizer way.
Yeah, it's one of those jobs that, seeing how they act, I'm actually not sad that AI is taking over their job.
Yeah. what I find is more obnoxious. Like those people don't even speak Japanese.
Oh, so
Their
they're
job
just basically just looking at the context of what the like essentially what the picture is, and then saying, "Oh yeah, that's obviously what it means."
No, they just received the translation from the guy who speaks the language, and they decided how to change it. But like,
Oh, that's somehow even worse.
yeah, but like, you're just okay. You're changing something that you don't even have the competence to like. You don't have the competence to translate, and you're still taking the hubris of changing the context because you think you can do a better job.
Yeah.
Oh, those tentacles are really annoying.
Yeah, yeah. You can technically destroy them, but only the ones that are on land, because you can actually attack them with like eggs or the invincibility wing. You don't have access to either of those under the water. Anyway, I got a cat on me. I gotta make sure he gets off before he starts screwing up the audio.
The audience starts hearing the purr.
Yeah, my cat is a fucking loud-ass purr, so... like, he'll be on my lap, and everyone in the call would ask if there's a bird in my room. But, remember a while back I was mentioning about how I watched ASMR once in a while? Yeah, I never got to finish my thought on that. Basically, what I was, my thought was, there were some really fucking weird-ass ASMR videos. I think I showed you some of them, where it was like those, animations that they would do, where it's like, oh, they're getting like a foot treatment done or something like that. And, obviously, it can't just be like a normal, like, massage or something. It has to be like, oh yeah, the person has like trench foot or some shit. But, no, the really, really weird one that I've seen a few of, trying to just figure out, like, I guess what the fuck they're even thinking. What it is that they're doing Reiki, which already in itself is like a bullshit pseudoscience thing. Oh, I think I tried to do something here. It's, you can get the timing right and not get hit once, but yeah, I fucked it up. So. But anyway, so yeah, the Reiki, it's already like a bullshit pseudoscience thing, just right from the get-go. But, do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. Basically, it's like giving somebody a massage by massaging, in air quotes, the air or the spirits around the body, rather than the body itself.
I just always heard about Heike when it was like those relaxing songs that my mom listens to.
Yeah, but anyway, so already, like, Reiki doesn't make sense, because it's supposed to be, like, massaging the chi around of someone's body, right? But, what makes even less sense is that they're doing videos of it, not on an actual person, though sometimes they do, but rather they do it from a first-person perspective, as if you are the camera, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna be manipulating the Reiki of your Reiki through the monitor as you're watching it from the camera. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, how the hell does that even work? And they're like really into like keeping up the facade, or I don't even know if they think if they're even in on if they know it's a facade or if they genuinely believe it or not, because they might like bump the table and be like, "Oh, sorry, I bumped the table. That might have upset your chi." And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's not even like an outline of a body on the table. I don't know.
I don't know. There are people who believe in the nonsense of those no-touch knockout martial arts masters.
Yeah, we were talking about that out of a recording about like bullshit kung fu and stuff like that.
Yeah, there are people who like. You see the people acting like in those fights with those no-touch knockout masters, and you gotta be thinking like, are they being paid or do they legitimately believe this crap?
Yeah, because have you seen the JonTron video on Steven Seagal?
I have.
Yeah. Oh man, she wears a reinforced girdle. That's pretty. Must be painful. Let's see. Nasty dog named Ripper and sings in her own band, Grunty and the Monster Mob. Oh, good to know they're awful. Anyway, yeah, so, like, he was showing, some of Steven Seagal doing his, whatever his martial arts is, where it's like, you flip people using their own weight. I forget what it's called, but,
Aikido.
Haikido, yeah, that's it. He was doing Haikido, and the way that Steven...
Aikido.
Aikido?
Yes.
Aikido, okay. So, he was doing Aikido, and the way that Steven Seagal does it, he's just sort of like half-assedly just sort of like grabbing people by like the shoulder and just sort of lightly shoving them, and they do like full-on flips.
I've never seen of it.
No, I was just thinking like, God, Steven Seagal, he is such a fucking character. It's amazing that he's the only person who genuinely believes in his own shit.
There is I was watching a video recently about a guy talking to an Aikido master, and questioning like about the credibility of the martial arts, and he was basically saying the master itself was basically explaining what was the issue. Like he was like what is the issue like in the different approaches to teaching Aikido, and what is the method like that he taught, and basically like why it made it, I presume, made the method more efficient. It was. I'm gonna find the video. I'll just show you too. It's actually quite interesting.
But I'm guessing the answer is like, oh, it's the reason why it doesn't work on some people is because they don't believe that it'll work. Therefore, they're not properly trained in the ways of Aikido.
No, he actually gave some pretty good reasons why the certain ways of teaching Aikido don't actually work very well as a martial art.
Like, I can understand Kung Fu being, like, more of an exercise routine, because that's what a lot of monks use it for. But I guess somehow along the line, it just got translated as, like, oh yeah, this is a legitimate form of martial arts. But, yeah, there are some fucking weird ones out there. Eating a bucket of beans as a party trick. God damn. That must be horrible.
Like the foulest species, the British. Like eating a bucket of beans, that is not.
Well, at least they have toast with it.
Like, that is not that bad. Like, eating a bucket of beans. Okay, I guess the nasty part is that she's gonna fart in hurricane right after, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember why I'm doing this early. It's because, it's blocked off by I think, yeah, there's a bit of an icicle blocking off an area that we need access to if we're going to be 100%ing this. So, I need to come here slightly earlier before I get the move from the level. To open it, so that way when we leave the level, we can do it as the animal form. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Alright, back into piranha water. Yeah, so... what were we talking about? Sorry? We were talking about, like, Aikido and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, what else was there? Yeah, like, I think one of the videos that I saw explaining, like, the idea and the dangers of the martial arts, at least talking about how they're a legitimate form of, like, self-defense, is that, excuse me, since it's technically not true, they actually do a bit more harm spreading a misinformation, because if you get caught in a bad situation where you have to defend yourself, you will, like, rely on that martial arts and then realize in a potentially fatal way that it wasn't a good idea. You know? But, as an example of, like, I think he was telling a story of, like, how there was one boxer who was getting a little bit irked by the idea that people were taking Eastern martial arts as seriously as they were, because he failed to realize that it wasn't as effective as it was. So, as a boxer, he said that he would take on a kung fu master. And it was a immediate one-sided fight. Basically, as soon as the boxer got in close, which happened in, like, the first 10 seconds of the fight, the boxer just started wailing on the kung fu master. You sound like you're a mile away.
Sorry. I had the thing up because I was eating.
Okay.
But yeah, we were talking recently about Dong, right? So, yeah, it's a thing that happens. It happens a lot. Like a guy who is actually a practitioner of very effective martial arts goes on to fight a one who is does the more mystical stuff, and
yeah.
The result is very one-sided.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that Kung Fu happens to be the one of the more fake ones, but I guess it is good for exercise. So, it at least has that. And also there's like, the Shaolin monk.
Like, I've seen even people who practice Kung Fu, like I mentioned Ranton to you at some point. Even he says, like, no, if you wanna do a martial arts for the defense aspect, go for, like, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing. And he practiced Kung Fu for something like 2 or 3 years, because he lived in the Shaolin monk. No, he didn't live there, but he trained there. He lived in the city where the Shaolin monk resides.
Is he able to take a drill to the head and be fine?
I don't think that is feasible for no human being.
No, that's actually something, like, I read that Shaolin monks, like, the way that they train, it's basically the idea of, they constantly break their bones and shit, and then let them heal up so that way they get stronger, kind of thing. And it gets to a point where one of the Shaolin monks, what they did to show off their feat was to take a power drill to the head and for like 10 seconds, and there was like no damage to the side of his skull.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's actually how you hear about the man with the strongest thumb in the world.
No.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Thailand or some other like East Asian country around that area, but he's a coconut vendor. And what he does as part of his sort of like tourist attraction to get people interested in buying coconut drinks is that he will break the coconut fresh for you with his thumb. And
Well, there are some guys with some freakishly. There are some guys with some freakishly strong, like grip strength and finger strength. Like I saw a guy basically open up, like rip the top of a can open with his fingers. It's pretty. It's really impressive.
yeah, but no, how he does it with his thumb is that he basically just like jams it as if he's like sticking the coconut with like an ice pick or something. But he does it with his thumb. But
what are you doing? Like I remember doing this and you with the invincibility feathers. So.
I don't know. I always find that when it comes to attacking, doing the jump peck is the easiest and most effective way to do things. But I don't know. I never really think about using the invincibility feathers, just because gold feathers are not the easiest to come by, and you can only hold like 10 at a time.
Mm. But yeah. Have you ever seen Renton?
If I have, it might have been through a random YouTube recommendation, and I haven't seen one of his videos since. But
yeah, he does. He is like one of the first videos you see on when you enter his channel is a video of him talking about the time he spent on the Shaolin monk.
okay.
On the Shaolin temple. What am I doing?
No, he sat on top of the Shaolin monk, and that's how he got his chi.
Yeah, basically. He was like for a while training kung fu with the Shaolin monks.
Okay.
There is a video of him reacting to the I don't know if it's a BBC or a video talking about the monks, and it's like he sees like two monks, like this monk is chatting with his master. What? But that guy's a master too. Like they're both the same level.
Oopsies.
And the master is imparting on him some wisdom, like, hey, and I was like, yeah, this is all for the cameras.
Oh, is that literally what they're saying to each other?
No, like Renton was just saying this is all for the cameras, because like none of this makes sense. Like, he's got to ascend a level. This warrior monk is gonna pass a test in front of the highest authorities of the temple. Like, no, like then he mentions that guy. He's the abbey of the temple. Like, what is he doing there? He has stuff to do. He's not gonna be dealing with this. So basically, he just makes a breakdown of what stuff is actually real and what stuff is only a show for the cameras.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the monks training on the stone, because in reality, like the people who train in the Shaolin, they don't train in the stone paths anymore, because, well, they don't need to. There's already an area prepared with modern training equipment. They don't need to go train in the stone floor. Also, the stone floor is really is really deformed because of centuries of people knocking their feet on it. It's a pretty funny video.
No, it's just that when you mentioned that the guy was saying, "Oh, this is just for the camera," it reminded me of a. Have you ever read any of the Far Side cartoons?
No.
Okay. They're really funny, but one of them was like two Africans from an African tribe, and it looks like they're doing like some weird bungee jumping off of a really tall tree. And the one's telling the guy is like, okay, I know this is your first time. Don't worry. Don't worry about the guy taking a picture at the bottom. He's part of National Geographic. So just make sure you don't face plant. Also, I like our method here of helping this turtle with his numb feet by causing so much pain he just retracts the feet back in.
Yeah, it does very much sense in like the Banjo is there, like a guy who has one solution for every problem. He's the maid with fireball spell.
Yeah. Have you done this for Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tip-top choir. How you get them to sing. It's great.
Yeah. I do remember...
You do remember what?
I do remember doing this level specifically right before my cartridge was stolen.
Yeah, that's how you get them to sing. You just beat the shit out of them.
I don't know. It's how my parents. It's how my ancestors got their children to sing. So.
Is that like actually a thing or?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I do recall my father telling like there was I don't know, periods of his life where like that harsh, you know, farm education.
Mm-hmm.
Because my father, initially, like first years of his life, he grew up on a farm, and it was like it was very much a kind of environment where you have to you can be lazy.
Well, yeah.
And you have to.
Because you know, your job is to like feed people. Like if you slack off, then basically the village is dead.
No, but you can be lazy, but also like the routine of work is very demanding. So you gotta be always quick and understand what you're doing early on. So education was not always soft. There is a very funny story he tells, where he was when my father was 17 and I think he was plowing a field with my uncle at the time, and my uncle was just 12.
Mm-hmm.
So but they were having problems because I think the blinders on the mule were malpositioned.
Okay.
And he was and at some point he told my uncle, "Hey, let's give him the name John.
Very creative.
Hey John, fix the blinder on that horse. No, on that mule." The problem is, in Portuguese, blinder is said. The word for blinder that he used was tapa.
Mm-hmm.
And tapa also means a slap.
Oh, so your dad thought, oh, slap that mule.
Yeah, my uncle. He thought like, yeah. So basically, what he heard was like, fix a slap on that mule, and he just he just slapped him.
And I'm guessing the mule gave him a slap back.
Well, I don't know how it can do that given its anatomy, but
Well,
my father just stopped work and sat down to laugh, to have a laugh because he couldn't process the situation.
well, no. Basically, what I meant by did the donkey give him a slap back was, you know, the way a donkey would usually hit something.
I don't know, maybe from the position the donkey could bite him.
Well, no, like a donkey kick, like
Yeah, but a donkey kick is not very like they. I don't think can they do it particularly well on the front.
Okay, the joke's kind of flying over your head.
I know people who actually. I think I know a guy who died from a donkey kick.
Well, yeah, that's basically the main reason for a donkey. They make for really good protectors of your farm animals when predators come.
Yeah. So yeah, the guy. I think it was a guy that we knew from other states, and the stories that he got kicked by a mule or donkey, and he got a really bad case of constipation and died.
Oh, yeah, it kicked him right in the gut then?
Kicked him right in the gut.
Ugh. That's a hell of a way to go, but,
I never knew about that skull in the back of the...
yeah, there's a whole bunch of, like, little hidden stuff in Banjo-Kazooie, but a lot of it is really minor, but the only really big ones that are well hidden are the honeycomb pieces, like right here. Yeah! I remember this. This is a very small chance of this happening, and it only happens once per playthrough.
That never happened to me.
Yeah, like I said, it rarely ever happens, but I'm sure that if it happened to a speedrunner, they get pissed and just restart the run. But anyway, now we're a crocodile, and it's the only animal that we can turn into that actually has an attack. But it's a cute little thing, I love it.
I don't recall if I ever got all the jigsaws in this level. I think I did.
Or
maybe I got like most of them before I lost the game.
Yeah. This one is a little bit difficult if you don't have the speed shoes unlocked, but it's still possible to do it. It's just a hell of a lot easier with the shoes. Basically, it's just a race of who can eat the most turnips. So, like, the first few... yeah, you have to do it... it's a best of... no, you have to win 3 times. And it's only by, like, the third one that he gets really fast and that the shoes really help out. But you can still do it without it.
I remember having a lot of trouble with the one where you have to match the colors.
Yeah, so the next one is you can only eat the red ones, don't eat the yellow ones, and then the one after that, it constantly swaps between you having to eat the red ones and the yellow ones. I think the only thing I don't really like about this little mini game is that you don't have access to like a full view of the area, so you're constantly sort of like having to shift around the camera. But it's like whatever.
Yeah, but you're making a lead.
Well, yeah, that's what 25 years of playing this game does to you, baby.
You're old.
Yeah,
And
I am an old man of 30.
I mean, for the internet, that's ancient.
Yeah, gaming since 90. What would it be? 98, 97, something like that. So yeah, right around the time the N64 was new. And that's why I grew up with all the classics.
That's really funny that you mentioned that.
What, that I'm old?
I think that... No, like that 97, 98. I think the... as I recall, the first game I've ever played in my... was an Atari game. And I think that was all the way back in 1996, the end of 96 to 97, beginning of 97. I remember the story because I asked my uncle, the same one from the mule story,
Yeah.
if he had a video game. I don't know what prompted me to ask this, but it was like when we were moving from another state back to this one, and we decided. I just asked him, like, "Yeah, do you have video games? We play video games, uncle." And then when we get in the town I live I live now. I'm gonna show you a video game. So he showed me an Atari. The like the famous one, like 2600 with a controller that was just one button and one joystick.
One button, one joystick. That's all we needed back in the day.
Yeah. And the game was Keystone Capers. It was the one where you play a police officer and you have to catch a thief.
Okay. Oh, is that the one where you go like from house to house trying to find like a robber or something?
No, it's one where like you have 3 layers. You're kind of like in a mall. It looks like.
Okay.
And you have to run around trying to catch the thief.
Oh, one thing about Mr. Vile here, you can replay this minigame, but it is very deadly.
Yeah.
It's the same minigame as the last one, where it's you have to eat the correct little turnip. But if you win, you get 3 lives. If you lose, he'll chase you, and if he bites you, you lose a life. So, I don't know, I just never found it worth it.
I mean, you already got the jigsaw, so why bother?
Well, again, this was back in the day when, you know, lives were still being used for games instead of just checkpoint systems. So, I don't know. They kind of learned by Banjo-Kazooie that the live system was kind of silly, so they got rid of it. Let's see, what else was there?
What other games did you have as a kid for the 64?
Basically all the really big ones that everyone knows about. Like, I actually grew up with GoldenEye, and I remember my dad mentioning to me that, you know, this is a very mature game, and, you know, there's, some questionable things in it, you know? Like, because, you know, it was a game where you could actually shoot people and, like, kill them and stuff. You know, that was...
So I don't want to see your face on television shooting up a school.
Yeah, basically. You know, at the ripe age of 6. But, he was basically asking me, like, so you know the difference between, like, the fiction and, like, a video game setting versus reality, and at 6 years old, I was like, yeah. He was like, alright, good, you can play the game then. I was like, alright, cool. I play GoldenEye, and I'm like, I don't like this game very much. Like, as a 6-year-old kid, it was, like, far too difficult for me. Not because I was, like, retarded and couldn't figure it out. It was just, like, it was genuinely just difficult. You know? Like, being able to, like, control...
it can be a very, very challenging game. I remember having a lot of trouble when I was fighting Xenia. Was it Xenia? Was it Xenia? Xenia on a top?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the in the jungle level, right, where she shoots at you with a grenade launcher and like a really fast machine gun.
Yeah, she does a lot of damage to you, and her weaponry does a lot of damage to you. And I was having a lot of trouble with that fight.
Yeah, that's not a fun one, but excuse me. How I had fun with that game was that the copy that I had was used, and someone unlocked a bunch of cheats, and one of them was invisibility. So, with invisibility, the guards kind of know that you're there, but they don't shoot. So I was like, okay, this is much easier. So then I had fun. Unless there was a automatic turret, because the automatic turrets, for whatever reason, can still see you.
I find it kind of awkward that the book's way of speaking is
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but that's our first Cheeto book, and all the Cheeto books, all they do is just the codes that they give you is just to allow you to double your carrying capacity for like eggs and feathers. That's about it. But yeah, I also grew up with Ocarina of Time, and oh, I remember getting Banjo-Tooie for Christmas one year, and I was so happy about getting that like I immediately put it into the N64 and started playing it, and my dad got mad at me because we didn't finish unwrapping the rest of the presents. But I also got Majora's Mask that year, and that was a good year. What else did I had? I had Diddy Kong Racing, which I didn't like because that was a racing game that was like extremely difficult. Even at like now, I still find it very hard. It wasn't until I found out about the acceleration glitch that I finally managed to beat it. I had Mario Kart 64, Mario Tennis. Let's see, what else did I have? I'm just looking over at my game collection now and trying to remember what was original and what was what I got later.
Oh, I'm remembering now. I did some of the desert level.
Oh yeah, Gobi's Valley. That's a pretty good one. But we actually do something a little bit funny here. I think we end off going into Freeze Easy Peak, but in the next episode that I have recorded, I do Gobi's Valley first, and the reason being is that there's only one time in Banjo-Kazooie where backtracking is an absolute must, and this is that point. So I go into Freeze Easy Peak to learn the move and then leave to go do Gobi's Valley. But let's see, what else did I have? Like, there were a few games that I played, like Mario Party 1 and Kirby 64. I had Perfect Dark. I got that one.
As a present, or
yeah, as like a gift from like my grandmother's neighbor. Oh, Star Wars Rogue Squadron and Star Wars Pod Racers. I had those two. I had the other GoldenEye game, and Smash Brothers and Mario 64. I think that was pretty much everything. Because I think right around the time where I got Mario Tennis, both of my parents, they were like, you know what, that's enough video games. We are never going to buy you another video game ever again. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I had to get a job, and save up all my nickels just to buy a new game.
And the price has only gotten worse.
Yeah, like, I remember I got Contra 3 for the Super Nintendo, and this was back when I was in high school. I got it for like $30. I'm sure now if you look at prices of Contra 3, it'd be like fucking 100 at least. But yeah, that is it.
I'm glad that is it.
Yeah, that's it. So we will see you all next time. Have a nice night.
Bye bye.